both Orbital Sciences and SpaceX, their cargo ships. It's just a matter of getting them human rated. Am I correct in that, or?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. That right now the Orbital Sciences is a one-way vehicle. It takes cargo too, but it does not bring cargo back right now. I think they're trying to modify that. So there's two separate things. So the cargo is one thing, and then for the crew, we opened the competition back up. So it's not just those two guys that can bid on this. So we opened it up to the entire community. So there's right now I think 8 companies that are still in the running for the CC Dev 2, and it'll be really exciting to see. Now I'm sure Orbital and SpaceX are two of the people that are in that competition, and along with Sierra Nevada and Boeing and a lot of the big names too, ATK. So it's quite a competition, but we believe that competition is a good thing, and that hopefully we'll get some really good results out of it. And the idea here is you want to keep competition. You don't want to just have a single supplier. You don't want to get into that sole source kind of a thing. So you want to have a robust infrastructure so that if somebody has a problem with one of their vehicles, that there'll be at least one or more other people that can take up the slack there, so that you're not having the problems that we had with the space shuttle went down. There was no other U.S. alternative that could perform that function. So we're hoping to learn from the experience of the past and do it in a more cost-effective and more robust way.
Can you get into at all talking about the direction that Congress has set for NASA versus what NASA would like to do, or can you or your personal opinion on that?
Well, I mean, despite all of the political kind of wrangling that we have right now, if you kind of look at what the president put out in his budget request, and then for 2011 and as well as 2010, where he made a very fundamental structural change with the elimination of constellation and this new flexible approach. And the idea that commercial industry would be providing the transportation to and from the International Space Station would be done commercially and not by a NASA-owned system. And that did receive bipartisan support in the 2010 authorization for NASA, which pretty much follows along with what the president asked for. Now, again, the devil is in the details. Now, when that starts talking about jobs and dollars in certain congressional districts, and you're starting talking about layoffs, then that raises the political stakes a lot. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. As I have said a lot of times, this is what a paradigm shift looks like from the inside. It's not necessarily a really orderly kind of a thing. There's a lot of very strong opinions on both sides about this, about what's the best way forward. But that's part of the American system, is that we have these dialogues, that we then make a decision, then we come together and we move forward. And we're all hoping that that's the way that it'll go, that both the president and the Congress have made decisions about the way to go, and we're hoping that eventually, once we get over some of this rough transition thing, that we can all come together and move forward to, as Bob Cabana said, he's the center director at the Kennedy Space Center and a former shuttle astronaut and very much attached to the space shuttle. He said that the transition is going to be difficult, but there's something better on the other side of this. And so I think that's what we're all hoping for, is that there will be some pain and some discontinuities in the short term, but hopefully that there is something much better on the other side of this that we can get to hopefully as soon as possible. I think the one other area that we're very much focused on is the education, and particularly STEM education, and how to get the younger people involved in this. We feel that the space program has historically been a great source of inspiration. I don't know about you, but that's how I got into this, was watching what happened in the Apollo program and Mercury and Gemini. John Glenn went up launched on my 10th birthday. in his orbital flight. And so what we're looking for is a way to get the excitement of the space program. But the new generation, the younger generation, is different than, and they want more participation. They don't want to just be passive spectators in this. They want much more interaction with the program. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to do. We have Operation Uplink, which is a program where students can drive a remote-controlled rover in a simulated lunar mock-up that we have at NASA Ames. We've done this all the way, and it works over the internet, so we can go out to various schools with our equipment, and the students can drive this and see what they're doing over the cameras. We've actually done this from South Africa. So it's not only a national but an international thing of trying to get the kids, and where the education is a pull rather than a push, rather than saying you really should take these things, get the kids to want to learn, be it by stimulating them that, hey, if you want to be part of this, if you want to build these things and do these things, then you need to have the education and understand the science and the technology and the mathematics that goes behind this if you want to truly participate and not just be a spectator. And we think that's really exciting. One of the things we're doing is we're working with the Maker folks, Maker Magazine and the Maker Challenge. We have a challenge that we're working with them to develop payloads that kind of do-it-yourselfers could use are developing these payloads that could be used in classrooms for suborbital research flights. So this is something a teacher could take with relatively a small amount. I think we put a value of like $100 on the kit price that you put together and do something neat in a suborbital test flight. And so we're working with Makers Magazine to try to see who can come up with the ideas and then make this available to all the teachers across the country of these things that they can do if they're interested in this for their classroom. Yeah, so we've been working with Dale Doherty, and he's a great guy and really excited about all this stuff. I went up to last year's Maker Fair in San Mateo and gave a talk on what we call Space 2.0, of how some of these new things and all of these new entries, these new people, the Elon Musk, the Bob Bigelows with his expandable modules and everything, and how that could change space. The things like nano racks, that actually for as low as $25,000, a school can have an experiment on the space station, including transportation and everything. I mean, that's pretty amazing, like what a typical marching band would take to go to a parade or something like that. You can now actually have an experiment in space with astronauts, with data and everything for that same amount of money. So the paradigm is definitely shifted from huge, expensive, unobtainable kinds of dollars required to do these kinds of things, to the point where even middle schools could consider doing experiments in space now. We just think it's a really exciting time, and we're just really happy to be part of it.